Jumped on early because I have to do a hard stop in about 50 or so minutes, 53 minutes. I've got stuff to do. But anyway, guys, I'm here. Uh, Happy Father's Day to everybody, all the dads out there. I wanted to say this too because I said it in my Facebook live earlier. If I didn't say happy birthday, happy Mother's Day to you mothers, I'm sorry. I said it to Steph and with my mom being gone and really all the women and is gone in my family. So I'm sorry, but maybe next year I won't forget. I might have said it and I don't know. Anyway, I wanted to take today to talk about the fathers in my life. Um, my dad passed away when I was 4. If y'all don't know that, and I only had 4 years to really, but I don't really remember anything other than what he told me on his deathbed. And I've told that story over and over again. That when he was passing away, he put me on his chest and let my heart sink with his, and we had a moment there. And I've always tried to do what my dad asked me to do. And actually, YouTube has allowed me to do what he asked me to do. Um, and there's videos of it, but anyway, it is what it is. Guys, look, if you're not a dad and you don't you being a dad is hard. It's you do sacrifice. I didn't have my dad around, so I wanted to be around for my kids, and that has put the strain on me. Uh, mentally and physically, and uh, being a dad is hard, and I'm not trying to just say that because there's dads out there that have really tried, and I mean I've done my best to be a good dad, even though there's things in my closet that I wish I could change. Um, but that's as being a dad as we you when you're first a dad, um, you know you don't even know how to change a diaper. I know I know when I changed. I only got to change mine a couple of times, but when I first changed Caden, it's like you don't know what to do. I mean, everybody's like, make sure you get him cleaned up, and then put the diaper on as fast as you can. And there's tricks and tips, and there's all kind of stuff out there. I mean, there's just a lot out there. And you have to be a dad that you can be all you can. There's a lot of people that talk about dads in general that there's dads that stay gone and they're gone away from their kids, and technically it's without being having mama and dad at the same time. It's very difficult. Um, it's very difficult, and you have to make choices. And yeah, I mean, I probably would hurt just as bad as I do now. Um, and I can't tell you how to be a dad. I can only explain it and try to help you through it. And I become a dad when I was 18, and I only had a few times with Maya, and and then it was 7 years or so before I didn't even know if I would be able to be a dad with Crystal. We didn't. We thought something was wrong, um, and we had Caden, and Caden was technically my first child that I actually got to raise. And Caden, Caden's 17 this year, and I had to learn with Thomas, and I had to learn with Stacy, and I'll say this, and I've told this to my kids. I don't favor any of my kids more than others. There's things that get on my nerves about each of them, but that's just who they are, and that's how me and Steph look at it. And yes, it's difficult. You know, it's it can be very challenging, especially when you're going through things and you're going through those things as your kids are, and they pick up on that. They really do. They you As they get older, you can actually see you and them as you were, was going through that stage. And I've been very liberal with my kids. I don't, I don't say anything unless they ask me. Stacy asked me certain questions. Thomas really don't ask me much questions. It's more of, a mutual respect. As far as me and Caden, on the other hand, Caden is the kid that will come to me and he will ask he's coming to me asking me a question without asking me the question. So we will spend hours talking. I mean hours. And he literally just sits there and listens. And he doesn't say a word. He just that's who he is. Stacy, on the other hand, Stacy has these questions, and I'm like, Sissy, I don't, and I explain it to her, but she then works off to a different subject, and that's just who she is. Your kids, all of them are unique in their own way, and I say that don't let your don't let your kids feel that, especially if you have multiple ones. A lot of people say, "Oh, you do have a favorite one." Well, I've tried to stay away from that. I've tried to stay away from that. I look at each one of them and I see where I have influenced their life, and that's all you can do. Um, and they're gonna make their mistakes. They're gonna make that. On the other hand, me and my dad's situation, there's been men in my life that I have looked up to that are genuinely good men. And as y'all know, I am not religious. I am spiritual at that kind of situation. There is men in my life that I have looked to as guidance, and one of them being my pops, which is he's my cousin, but he and they took conservatorship over me back when I was 13, because my mom, my mom had her own issues, and that's I'm talking about my step parents. My step, it's basically my stepdad, but he's my cousin. But he's my pops, and he has taught me things. He's been there for me when I need him, and I'm forever grateful for him. Um, Another person in my life, um, his name is Danny. He's an army guy, ex-army. I came across him when I was working at the hospital in the cafeteria. Super dude, man, just super dude. Don't I mean he's fought pancreatic cancer, and he's fought all kind of cancers. This dude is a rock solid, and he's a Christian, and I have no problems with him. We talk about certain things, and there's certain things that he gives me that, and there's other people. I don't really get out much. Um, so, huh, I don't know what that is. Something just popped up on my phone. Um, but I look at people within the public. They don't know me, but I will watch them and I'll see how they deal with their kids and talk to their kids, and that gives me some guidance. And that's just what I do. Um, there is younger dads than me, and I am astonished on how they parent. They do what they can. I want to talk about my dad, and I don't bring this up lightheartedly, and I don't care if YouTube don't like the discussion. Um, my dad liked a preacher. His name was Jimmy Swaggart, and any of you people that know, you'd know. And it's hard for me to talk about. Um, my my dad and my aunt were married way before my mom and my dad. My mom absolutely loved my dad. Um, Absolutely loved him, and my whole family did. My nanny did. My mom, my other aunt, my aunt that married him. They had their own, but I did find some private things that she had saved, have them saved up. Um, but she was 14, and I don't care what YouTube says. I'm saying it. Um, and Dad was 21, and knowing that my dad's favorite preacher was Jimmy Swaggart, y'all go check him out. Um, I have often thought in my head, um, does that make my dad the same situation? And guys, this is in the 50s and 40s. Oh well, mom was born in 42, dad was born in 36, and then was born in 45. Yeah, something like that. But my aunt left that house and thought she can live a better life without my grandma, and there was a situation. And guys, and I've said this before, this is why I respect women a lot. I seem to gravitate towards their wisdom. My nanny, my mom, my aunts on my dad's side, well, my aunt. And then there was uncles on my dad's side. I'll talk about my Uncle Johnny. Um, my Uncle Johnny was instrumental in making me who I am. He was my uncle. My cousin Dusty. He was older than me, but I called him my brother basically because I mean, um, but my dad. Um, I look. I mean, I look at it, and a lot of people are like, "Oh, just you're gonna just sweep it under the rug about your dad." No, I don't sweep it underneath the rug, and it's taught me my whole life because I'm like, would I line up with my dad now? I don't know. I don't know if I would have fallen apart from my dad, or I don't know, and we just don't know that kind of stuff. I want to talk good about my dad, and I want to feel that he was a human too. He makes mistakes, made mistakes, made them, make them, whatever. We all do them, and that is the thing, is like I do, in my back of my mind, I kind of like, I wonder if me and my dad would actually get along. And it's cliche for me to feel that way. It really is. It's because I just don't know. And I, there's people that's had, their whole life with their dad, and they had a great relationship through the whole time. Um, I don't know. And, there's things that I want to say I would agree with my dad with, and there's some things that I definitely would have hard, but that's just the generation. And a lot of people are like, well, if you're, you know, I've been in different circles. Um, I've also felt that, maybe sometimes maybe I could have talked to my dad about certain things that's happened, and what have you. Um, and that's another thing, is, just being that dad, being, and it takes a lot. And I want to say this, and I'm talking to the younger viewers on this, and this is just knowledge. As you get older, you tend to start understanding what your parents have told you, and good or bad. There's a good side and there's a bad side of things. And when those two things happen, you know, I had a falling out with my aunt. I had a falling out with other men in my life. Hello, Jason. Hello. And so being a dad is it's a world, and you have to navigate that. I've noticed the difference in my boys and Stacy, my girl. Um, I've had to. I used to punish them in a group, and if one person did it, I didn't realize why I was punishing all three of them, because all three of them were involved in it, and they just didn't want to take credit for it. So I punished all of them. Should I have? I don't know. My kids still, that was bull. I'm like, but I changed on my kids too. I did a 180. I will say this. I'm going to say it because it's true. When I was a Christian, I was a lot more hard headed and hard on my kids. As I left and I started feeling what they were feeling, I got it. Because, you know, I was raised where if I didn't if I didn't obey my mom or my aunts, it was either switch, a paddle, or both. Okay, I mean, I got my butt busted several times. Um, and nowadays is nowadays. Um, so um my tribute to younger dads and first time dads, guys, it's difficult. Not just on you, but the moms. It's a you don't understand the stress that comes with it. And I'm talking to the teenagers. Guys, there's no way when you're 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, you cannot just jump into fatherhood. And there's a lot of kids, well, I did what I did. Look, there's responsible ways of doing that. And I really think, if I practice what I preach, once I hit 18, all that went out the window. Um, and I honestly feel that I should have had a Q&A sticker. I don't know what that means, but you can see. No, I don't want to do that. I don't know what that means, but okay. Um, but I wish I would. I mean, I got dad books and stuff like that. Those dad books and mom books, they're mass produced, and it's on a need to know basis, and not every kid is the same. They do the same things, but they're not. Their reaction is not the same. And you have to remember when you were their age, and you have to remember what you did, and you have to. And I just tell this to you all the time. When I look at my kids, I try to. Dear, I really don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. I'm sorry. Um, but that's just the way it goes. Um, and guys, I wanna tell you this too. Remember the moms. Yeah, I don't have super chats and stuff yet. That's not unlocked for me because I don't have the subscriptions or the hours, whatever it is. I don't have um I don't have all that stuff. I don't know when it unlocks, and I don't know. I do have Patreon though. It's Changing Winds Productions on Patreon. I'll put a link in it after I finish, because I'll do a thumbnail and stuff description of this video later. But yeah, I have it's if you go to Patreon, it's Changing Winds Productions, and there's a $5 tier, and then God bless you too, buddy. Um, so you know, you just have to know that kids are kids, and you're technically a kid until you're always your mom and dad's kid, and your mom and dads will always refer to you that way. They will all, and I tell my kids that all the time. You're still my kid, no matter how old you get. Um, you're still my kid, and I still have that. um, but guys, I just wanted to say but remember also, like I said, I was trying to think. Um, remember the mamas, because they go through a lot more than you think. Uh, it's a mama is there's always a connection with the mama and their baby. The mama is attached to that umbilical cord from the first moment that baby is being born, and you know, cutting. I don't know if any of y'all understand, and you will understand it, but a lot of you older guys will know. When you have a hand or a foot or whatever, if it gets amputated, I said the right word for it. You have phantom pains, and you have residual pain, and your arm could not be there, and you still feel it. And I mean, I don't have my gallbladder or my appendix, but I still feel the pain from when they took them out. Phantom pains, because it was connected and it no longer is there. You got to think of that when you talk about moms. Those moms were connected to the babies 9 months. Actually, a lot longer than that, because the eggs are part of their mom for their whole life. So I believe that people like, no, that's not. I honestly believe that there's a connection, and your kids know that. And whatever your kids are going through when they're developing at that age, it's crazy. Um, it, I just, I think a lot of Sandra. Is it Sandra or Sandra? Because my mom spelled her name the same way, and I have a cousin. Her name's that too, and she tells me it's Sandra, not Sandra. So Sandra, it is with you too, because that's how my mom spelled it. And I dared to call my mom that, and I've done it to my cousin, and it's like, no, Sandra. So I'm gonna say Sandra. I'm not gonna say Sandra. Um, but thank you. I appreciate this. I do have a free Patreon too, and then there's a $5 one. Um, if y'all want to do that, I'll link it later. I'll put QR codes on this. I don't know. I probably won't. It's a vertical live, so I'll put a description and put a thumbnail and be done with it. But remember that moms and babies have a special connection. The dads do too. They do, but being a dad is hard. It's not easy. It's not easy. Um, you have to just go with it and hope that it is the right way to go. Anyway, I went 30 minutes. I still got 26. Well, probably 20, because I need to get off. I was going to do it straight at 4, and I was like, no, I need to do some things right at 5. So, but anyway, guys, remember your dads. If you don't have them anymore, do anything that you remember doing with them, or try to think of them. Um, I miss mine quite a bit. There's a lot of times and I didn't have them during that time, but I wish I did. Um, and remember your mothers, remember your parents, and remember your grandfathers and grandmothers, because they make who you are too. I mean, they do. My grandma raised me. The older generation raised me, and some people they see that in me. And a lot of people ask me how old I am, and they're, what? You're only, and I'm like, yeah, I'm only 42, and they're like, you seem like you be 50 or 60s, because I was raised by older people. And I do miss. There's a lot of things that I miss from when I was young. I mean, I was raised. I will. This will be braided. Once it gets long enough, I will have it braided. I don't know if I'm gonna learn how to braid it, because I suck at braiding things. I really do. But I do want to braid it. We were at Trade today, and this guy was like, dude, I wish mine could get that long. I was like, this is going on 3 years. I've been growing it out. I will braid it where I will have Steph, or I will go and get it done. Because Steph don't like the way. But actually, my beard's actually really soft. It's really soft. I use a conditioner. I used to just have a goatee. I just had this part. That's all I used to have for the longest time. And the reason I started growing out my goatee is all through high school I couldn't have facial hair because I worked for Chick-fil-A. Could not have no facial hair but a mustache. And once I got out of school, well, got out of the military and came back to be, I was like, you know what? I'm having facial hair because I wanted to have facial hair in high school, but I couldn't because of stupid work. And so, yeah, if I shaved it, I would look younger. But I've learned to embrace it. It's me. It's who I am. And no, I'm not gonna shave it, even if I mess up one day. It will keep growing. I will let it mess up, and it will grow back out, and it can be fixed. But I'm not taking it all the way off. I'll shave this off, and usually I'm not so scruffy, but it is what it is. I have a wedding in November, so this will probably um, we'll see how long it is by then. It may be long enough by then I can have it braided and I want to have beads and stuff in it because that's who I am. Um, I will braid it though. Um, but anyway, guys, that's my little rant for today, and I've actually did pretty good. I've been pretty good to stay on topic too. Jeez, I can't believe that. I'm just looking at comments, so I'm trying to read them and go with the flow. Do y'all have any comments, concerns, questions? What you got? Do 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 do. It's like we're playing Jeopardy. Yeah, I would stay on here longer, but like I said, I've got a project that is calling my name. Well, part of that project because I'll show y'all what's going on. So I have, and y'all will start seeing me do more of my craft. So I don't want to show too much of my project. That's my staff. Um, and I am working on. Uh, I'm work. I'm working on building a mushroom right now, and this will go on. Well, this is not going to be, but that's just my mold. You can see. But I need to fill this with foam and then push this in. But I've got a stack of styrofoam over here that I need to put together because once I start this spray foam, it won't. I gotta keep going with it. So I done got my camera all jacked up. But anyway, guys, that's just what's going on. Um, you, I don't see any other questions. Look at me, I'm trying to mess with the camera. I said I wasn't going to. Um, but anyway, guys, I hope all you dads have a good Father's Day and take time to remember them. Not just your fathers, but your grandfathers and your mamas and your grandmoms. And if you still have them, give them a little hug, a little bit of a longer hug, because, you know, we need those things too. Speaking of granddads, I was just thinking about this and I figured I'd say it. And I never thought I would say this, but I'm kind of looking forward to the granddad years because there's going to be some times that I'm going to tick off my kids, especially with grandbabies. I'm going to get them so mad at me. Uh, they don't know it yet. They don't know it yet, but when I do have my grandbabies, I'm gonna get them to give their mom and daddy's problem. Yep, I'm going to. Um, but anyway, guys, fellas, I wanted to. I done said what I gotta say. I'm just chit chatting right now. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna hop off here. Y'all have a good day. Um, give your dads a little bit longer hug or rub his feet. Well, I try to get Stacey to get do that. She's like, "Yeah, I don't know how many times I rubbed your feet when you were trying to go to sleep. Won't help me out any. It's messed up, real messed up." But anyway, guys, I will see y'all later, and I love all y'all. Thank you for the subs and supporting me. Like I said, I'm going to do a lot more projects, and I really want y'all aboard because it's going to be fun for me to figure out how to film some of this stuff. And I don't know if I'm going to do them live, if I want to do them edit. I really don't like editing, and I don't like doing all that stuff and add music and all that. I like doing my. I like doing my. I love doing um, the what's the word? Thumbnails. I love doing thumbnails. I love doing the titles. I love doing the descriptions. I love doing that kind of stuff. So anyway, guys, I love y'all. Take care. Take care of your family in any way that you can. And guys, I will see y'all later.